Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. This is Simbin Scoops. Merry Christmas, and if you are a Super League supporter, I am about to deliver you a late Christmas present because the prayers that we've all been sending are going to be answered by the match officials department. Let's get into this. Right then, just quickly, if you haven't already, like and subscribe to help us keep growing our page. We got plenty of these to come. If you aren't aware of what these are, Simbin Scoops, it's just a little 10-minute video talking about the big news within Super League right now, and this is the latest one. So let's get into it. Last week, or maybe the week before, earlier this month, the head coaches met. There was about half the head coaches there actually, and then some assistant coaches too. They met up with the match officials department to discuss a few things heading into the 2026 season. And what's become very clear off the back of that meeting is that Super League next season is going to be much quicker and much more aesthetically pleasing. Anyone who watched a lot of Super League in 2025 will know that one of the big bugbears for supporters, coaches and players, and certainly the media, was the fact that everything was so slow. If we start with the rucks, the amount of times referees were having to stop the game because players were entangled and it was just messy. We couldn't get to play the ball away. Players were laying in rucks and it just looked very ugly. It was a bit of a painful watch. Throw in the fact that we then had stuff like Captain's Challenge and video reviews. It was taking up to an hour sometimes to play a half of rugby league, and it was painful. It was taking too long. It wasn't a good watch. Thankfully, that looks like it's all going to change. If we start off with what was going on in this coaches meeting. So the match officials, headed by Phil Bentham, delivered their plans for the new season and how they planned to change a few things, and it all leads to much quicker rucks next season and a much quicker game. So the two key changes that are coming: the attempt to get cleaner rucks. How are they going to do this? Well, the referees are going to give much more specific instructions to players next season. So if you ever watch the game on TV, you'll hear the referee go, move, and then 2, move, 3, move. But nothing really happens and everything was slow. This time, the referees are going to be shouting stuff like hands out, hands off the ball, off the legs. So the players will know exactly who's been shouted at. They'll have to move. If they don't, they are going to get penalised. And they're going to get penalised quite severely. The other thing is the ruck. So as I mentioned earlier on, we saw it so many times that players would just lay in the ruck between the ball carrier and the man at the play of the ball waiting to pass to another player. It was a tactic by the end of the season as clubs got an understanding of the rucks that they were doing intentionally, because it was hard then for the guy at the play of the ball to be able to either have to step over them to pass it, or then there'd be an awkward body position, hard to get a clean pass away. A lot of teams were purposely doing it on the last tackle so that they could apply much more aggressive kick pressure. Why this was allowed to happen, no one. I can't really give you an answer, because everyone as a young player has always been taught that you've got to roll away and make an effort to get out. It just didn't happen last year, but it is going to this year. So, and if you don't, you are going to get penalised. There has to be an effort to get out and clean the ruck, which will fix up one of the ugly parts of last season. That combined with what's already been announced, and there have been a few things announced. So if we go back to November, it was announced that there'll be shot clocks coming in on goal kicks and penalty kicks as well. 60 seconds is all they'll have for a conversion. There's been some data that's showing that it's taking up to 2 minutes for players to kick goals, which is too long. They don't need that much time, and if they do need that much time, they need to sort it, 'cause it's just adding to the time of a game that we don't want. We want fast paced. And the other change that we know comes with the video referee. So as we know at the minute, if the referee isn't sure, it goes try or no try. Or they go, and then it goes up to the video referee. Now, moving forward, if they go no try, it'll still be reviewed as it was this year. However, if it's a try, what will happen is they will, like the NRL, start the process of celebrating. The goal kicker will get ready for the conversion, and it'll be reviewed there and then while all that's going on, rather than as we have now where everything stops. It's then reviewed. We all wait for the screen, and we wait for the verdict. So that will speed up that process a little bit as well, which is good news, because we don't we just need to cut down the time. The captain's challenge I still think will be a problem, if I'm honest, because last year it was just taking too much time. I don't think it's really anyone's fault. I just don't think we've got the technology like the NRL does with the camera quality, the number of cameras to be able to make decisions quickly. A lot of the times it's inconclusive, isn't it? And that's because the footage just isn't where it needs to be for something like Captain's Challenge. So I've still got some reservations about that. There will be better communication to supporters in grounds about when a try is awarded after a check, a bit like they do in the Premier League. Same with Captain's Challenge. So that's good news as well. Now, obviously, some people might be sceptical about, oh, well, is this going to happen? Will it actually take place? Well, I was at the Boxing Day game between Leeds and Wakefield, and it was very clear that there was a huge difference in the speed of the rucks. Marcus Griffiths was the referee, and he was blowing his whistle all the time because the players just weren't clean enough. There was a lot of penalties, a lot of 6 against, which I get to fans is frustrating, but I think if this is some short-term pain and players are just learning new behaviours and what they need to do, I'm all for it. It has to be said that Jamie Langley came into the press conference for Leeds rather than Brad Arthur, and he actually praised Marcus Griffiths for sticking to what had been said, that the rucks would be quicker, and that he enforced that as well. He said he'd done a real good job of that, and yes, it did mean that the whistle was blown a lot, but we've seen this before, that players take a little bit of time to adapt to things at the start of the season, and by 5, 6, 7 rounds in, they've adapted, and it'll make for a better spectacle for the game. So I'm all for it. And it has to be said, even within the game, you could see players. Certainly, I think it was easier to see it in when they fell into the back of the ruck, in between the ball carrier and the guy at dummy half, the play of the ball. They were rolling away, and it made it very easy for hookers to run out and be lightning quick. Harvey Smith at Wakefield looked frightening at times because he had the space and the time to do it. I think there'll be a lot of hookers who have run threats in Super League who'll have watched that game, if they have, or will see the footage and be really excited about the opportunities they are going to get. So I'm thinking of the likes of Jez Litton, Harvey Smith, Darryl Clark. There's others in there as well, of course. Danny Walker is another one. The guys with that run threat are going to be really, really excited if that's the way that the game's going to be interpreted. And the other point to make, when Jamie Langley came in to the press conference, he said he spoke to Jake Connor and Brodie Croft after the game, and they were both licking the lips at the prospect of games being refed like that, because of course for the halfbacks, if the hooker can get the ball away quicker and they've got more space and defence is still retreating, they've got more time, more space, it should be great news for attacking style rugby in Super League next year. And those creative players, if it is going to be refereed like that, they're going to have a field day. Now, of course, the job of the coaches is always to find ways to beat the system, and I'm sure that will happen again. The lane in the ruck was the one they found this year with that interpretation. I am sure they will find new trends. That's what they're paid to do. Find ways to win. Find trends that can beat the system almost. And it'll be interesting to see how the coaches adapt to this one from a defensive standpoint. From an attacking standpoint, everyone's got to be really happy because their attacking players are going to get more time on the ball, more space. It's going to be great for them. But it will be interesting to see. But overall, my conclusion from what the coaches are saying, what the match officials department are saying, I've spoke to people on all sides, and then from what I saw at Boxing Day, it's going to be an exciting season for Super League. I think they've made changes that everyone wants. If you look at the feedback from last year, what frustrated people the most about watching games last year, it was how long things were taking with the video referee and the Captain's Challenge. We're still not totally convinced that's been fixed, but certainly made a change. The other one was the rucks and how ugly they were. Well, that's definitely going to be changed based on what I saw on Boxing Day. Hopefully they stick with it and it's consistent. Yes, there might be loads of penalties at the start of the season as players get used to it. I'm okay with that so long as it's consistent, they don't change, let the players learn the behaviours. It's going to be for the betterment of Super League and how appealing it is on the eye moving forward. That's pretty much as wrapped up on this one. Interested to know what you think about it all. Is there anything else you'd like to see changed heading into next season? Leave your thoughts in the comments. But so far so good. I think they're fixing up all the issues that we've asked for, and it should make for an exciting season next year, and those attacking players are going to be very, very excited going into 2026. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've not already. This has been Simbin Scoops. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care.